Okay, so I learned not too long ago that the Persona 5 series has managed to reach a new milestone in terms of sales and in terms of popularity. And when I'm talking about like Persona 5, I'm talking about the series. So I'm talking about P5, P5 Royal, Persona 5 Scramble, and Phantom Strikers. It turns out that all four of those games together within the past couple of years has managed to reach 9 million copies sold worldwide. And honestly, I feel like the Persona 5 series is probably the most is the most popular like sub series that we got in the entire Persona series. And I say it's a sub series because it's a game, and then you had the spin-offs and all that stuff, and you had the enhanced version of the original Persona 5 game that came out back in 2016. But it seems like Persona in general is more popular than it's ever been. And a lot of people don't remember that the series got started back in like the mid 90s, and it really didn't start to get like mainstream attention until like P3 or P4, which is like in the mid to late 2000s. And honestly, it's very impressive to see how far the Persona series has come since its inception many, many years ago. And right now, a lot of people are waiting to hear more about Persona 6 because even though we haven't gotten an official announcement, we do know that it's coming because Persona 5 is too popular of a game for Atlus to not follow up on. And at this point, I don't know if they're going to decide to take a hiatus after Persona 5, or if Atlas is going to continue to milk Persona 5 for all it's worth in terms of just making spin-off games and stuff like that for P5, because P5 is really that popular. Persona 5 was one of the best RPGs of the teens decade. It was probably one of the best things that have come out of 2016 in general. And honestly, I do feel like this milestone, considering the Persona 5 games, like both like the original main game and the spin-offs, it's something that I did not expect a couple of years ago. And if Atlas does come out with a Persona 6 game, it's going to be very hard to top Persona 5 in terms of plot, in terms of presentation, in terms of trying to get casuals, interested in the game itself. And for like the Persona 5 games, like the spin-offs and the main game, to have had this much success, it had to have been something that appealed to the casuals, and the things that I just mentioned, like the story and the presentation and the gameplay, all those things kind of help get the Persona 5 game, along with the Royal Edition and the other two spin-off games, that helped get it to where it is right now. And a lot of people thought, Persona 4 and P4 Golden was going to be the best thing that we've gotten. And don't get me wrong, P4 Golden is probably one of the best games that we've gotten within the Persona series, probably behind Persona 5. But for the most part, I do feel that, P5 is going to be a hard game to top. And I have no idea when we're going to get the announcement for that game. I don't know when we're going to see video game footage for that game. And I believe I mentioned or I made a video about Persona 6 last year, whether or not it's too soon for Persona 6. And honestly, I don't think it's too soon anymore, considering the fact that it's been about like 7 years since the original Persona 5 game came out. And I haven't really heard anything about it being in development or anything like that. But as far as upcoming games are concerned, Persona 6, along with the likes of Mario Kart 9 and Metroid Prime 4, those seem like games that we're going to be waiting forever on. I mean, I can't even tell you how long, Metroid Prime 4 has been in developmental hell. And at this point, I'm convinced that Nintendo may have given up on the idea of Mario Kart 9, but I did read something like months ago about Mario Kart 9 being in early development. So that's most likely going to happen in the future. We just don't know when. Persona 6 is most likely going to happen in the future. We just don't know when. But the question is whether or not it's going to top that of Persona 5 in terms of overall commercial success.